All right. We are live. We are live. We are live. Let's
Hey,
give it a
yeah.
little time. Let's go on. We're gonna give it a little time for everybody to come in. Just give it about, we're gonna give it about 1 minute. People were, they were definitely waiting to come in here. Um, you know, hey, what's going on? I see y'all coming in. I see y'all coming in. All right, all right. We're here to give y'all some fire information. Thank you all for patiently waiting. It's been definitely it's been a journey. It's been a journey here, but we got it all together. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start. I'm sorry we're 5 minutes late. There were some little technical difficulties, but however, welcome tonight. Thank you for coming. Here at 6 o'clock this good evening of Thursday. We gather here as we know, I have a book, that's coming out, which is called, The Unspoken Truth and Life Story of me, Keenan Hudson. One of the reasons why we're on here tonight is because I brought the actual marketing team. I actually brought the publisher, I actually brought the assistant manager. They should be logging and coming up here pretty soon. But long story short, I just wanted them to give a great understanding of what we're going to be expecting for the book launch. So the book launch concerning the advanced readers campaign is going to be concerning the actual the physical book. I know some of these terminologies that I'm giving you all. I know that a lot of people may not be familiar with them, but that's why I bring the team on to explain what the process is going to be. So again, like I said, I have my publisher here, which is Bathsheba Monk, representing Blue Horizon Book Publishing. Then we have Carrie, who's the head of the SOLASTA Digital marketing team, along with Crystal, who's assistant with excuse me, I'm sorry, Carrie as well. And my sister Brandy, she's supposed to be coming on, but like I said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually allow Carrie to go ahead and reiterate a lot of the things that I was mentioning, especially with the book launch and the advanced readers campaign. So, Carrie, so you can go ahead and take it over. Please feel free. Also, if you feel free to drop comments, I'll throw them up on the screen. If we can answer them, we'll do the best we can. Thank y'all so much.
Yes, and make sure that if you know there's somebody who might be interested in this book, make sure that you share this live just so they can be aware of what's coming up. So as you guys know, as Keenan said, my name is Carrie Thomas Amaro. I am the founder and CEO of Solasta Digital, and I have Crystal, who is our chief operations manager of Solasta. So thank you, Crystal, for being here. I love you so much. And yeah, so we got an opportunity to work with Keenan on this launch of his book and really being able to build the buzz and momentum around it. And for us, we were like, how can we be able to do it so he can be able to hit bestseller and really be able to share his message with as many people as possible. So that's kind of where we came up with the advanced reader campaign, where people will be able to have access to the book before the book actually was launched. So the book launch date we are announcing right now. Keenan, when is the launch date?
So, for the launch date for the actual physical book, the physical book will be January
Physical.
16th.
You gotta do it with
The
the hands.
physical book, to have the book in your hand. It will be on January 16th, which is my birthday.
It's his birthday. So
Yeah.
me and Keenan were having this whole conversation. I'm like, okay, Keenan, when do you want to launch the book? I was like, I definitely feel like we should launch it in January, not knowing anything about his birthday or anything like that. And I'm like, I'm thinking maybe like the 12th, 14th, 15th, 16th, something like that. And he was like, well, we could do it on the 16th. It's my birthday. I'm like, Keenan, it's your birthday on the 16th? And you didn't say this is when we're doing the launch? So I was like, no, we're definitely doing it on your birthday. He was like, well, I never celebrated my birthday before. I was like, well, this is the perfect opportunity for us to celebrate you and all that you've done and also be able to share your words and your stories and your messages with more people for your birthday. So launch day is on his birthday. So I'm super excited about that. And then advanced reader, which is going to be the digital copy of the book. So people will be able to access the digital copy of the book on December 1st. On that thing, you'll be able to access it. You'll be able to go through our cute little website that we made for the advanced reader. I'll be actually working on pulling it up right now. And then with that, you'll be able to go to Amazon to actually buy the ebook. And I think Bathsheba said the ebook is going to be
$1.99. Yeah.
$1.99. So you'll be able
Mhm.
to access for $1.99. And then during that time of being an advanced reader, you will then become a part of what we call the launch team for his book. So you'll have a time, you'll have about 45 days plus to be able to read this book. And then on the launch date, you will go to Amazon because you've bought the book and actually provide a review. So that's our goal, to be able to have Keenan be able to hit bestseller on his birthday by you guys dropping your reviews and letting him know how much that you appreciated his book, his message, and his story.
What a great present, Keenan.
Yes, indeed, indeed. So, like she just said, you will definitely have access to the book. Okay. So, like I say, so remember, December 1st is when you will have access to the actual physical book, like excuse me, the actual digital book. So you're going to be able to see
On
things,
your
and during
iPad.
that time,
On your
yeah,
iPad.
on an iPad, on a computer, anywhere you can see it. So for my elder audience, again, I know that sometimes some inbox me said, "Hey, I want the actual physical book. I don't want to read it on," but it's okay. You're still going to have time. We're going to do, like I say, it's going to be pre-orders and everything, or autograph orders. We're going to do a in-person book signing soon. So yeah. So I have some. Did they have any questions in the chat? Not any, but and if you can tell them too, again about how important it is, Carrie, like about with the reviews, like why reviews are important, especially going on Amazon and Kindle. Why is that so
Yeah.
important?
So reviews are so important because if you ever think about any time that you go see a new movie, go a new music goes out. That is the critics and those ratings that are necessary for Keenan to be able to hit bestseller. So these are the people that he loves, that he knows, that really support him. So we want to make sure that everybody that's an advanced reader actually gives out and goes in and actually does a review. Buys your $1.99 book on ebook, go do your review on launch day, and of course buy your physical book because I know Keenan as well as Bathsheba put a lot of work into that physical copy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
It's a
right
great.
here, I want to give a. Oh, go ahead. I want you to go ahead, Miss Bathsheba, if you like to enter
I
it.
was just going to say it's one of the reasons we took Keenan on was it's such a fabulous story. He kept us going here with his he was inspiring and thorough, and his story is just transformative. Okay, so we just love it, and so we're trying to put everything behind it too that we have, and we worked really hard on it with Keenan, and as he can tell you, right? and
Absolutely,
and so
absolutely.
yeah,
Hmm.
so it's really important that you get the advanced reader copies, because once you do that, whatever platform it's on, when you get the more reviews you get, the more anxious like Amazon is to promote you too. Okay, if you just have a couple reviews, you get lost. If you have 50 or more, all of a sudden they start cross promoting you, which is what we want.
Yes.
Absolutely,
So our goal
absolutely.
is to have 150 advanced readers to be able to come in and sign up for that advanced reader so we can have on launch date, which is Keenan's birthday, January 16th, we can have 150 reviews.
Yay.
Absolutely. 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 And like I say, one of the reasons why we chose to do it like this is, to give us, and give everybody time to read it. It's not just about, oh, we got the book and that's it. No, it's going to be a lot more. And during that time, even between the digital time and when the physical book comes out, I'm going to be going live. So I know you guys are going to want to engage. You guys are going to have questions. I'm going to be willing to answer them. Like I said, it's not just a book. It's going to be an actual It's going to be a podcast coming behind it. It's going to be a lot of different things that's going to evolve from this. So I just pray and hope that everybody, stays encouraged, be patient, because again, it's going to be extreme. This is going to go around the world. So I want everybody to know that this is going to go around the world. So there's no stopping this. Like,
Yes, it
so,
is.
and I'm speaking it to existence. That's how much faith I have in it. So,
And for
mhm.
Stephanie, I just want to make sure because I know she said the connection was kind of going in and out. So for Stephanie, advanced reader copy is going to be December 1st. It's a $199 to be able to access your ebook. You'll go through the website. We'll make sure you have that website up for you on December 1st, so you can be able to get your advanced reader copy. On January 16th is when the physical book is available. Keenan, show how you do your hands for the physical book.
Physical book, the actual book. You're gonna have in the head. You can put it in the headlock with the gun. You can put it in the headlock. You will have it. But
For
like I
the
said, and like I said, I know that we have like a mixed crowd here. We have young and we have elderly. So again, and like I wanted to actually translate, too, for a lot because I have a lot of Spanish speakers. Like my aunt and them was on here. I don't know if she's on here, but I was gonna translate. But it's all right. Like I said, the physical books will come out that time.
He
I'm
does have a
sorry.
story to tell. Thank you, Lacey.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Liz. Yeah, shout out to everybody, that's supporting right now. Like I said, Antoinette, thank you, Darcel. And I appreciate it. Y'all are here. Y'all been supporters from day one. Stephanie, y'all been here. De La Cruz, y'all, Wanda, you've been here. You've been moving. Y'all been really riding. Senora Carmen, she's a real professional. Sacera, like she does that. She's just a boricua by nature, huh? Like I said, Antoinette, like my cousin, we want, one of my favorite cousins. Like I say, Lacey, everybody, all these people, they got, stories to tell as well. Like Carrie them just said, we have books. You guys are inspired about writing. You can always inbox me. Again, y'all have the names on the screen. Lydiana, yeah. Thank you for not just getting one copy. Remember to always like, share, with this YouTube going to jump, we're going to subscribe. We're going to put the notifications on. We're going to be like I said, this thing is going to go all over the world. You know what I mean? My cousin Renee, everybody's on there. Thank y'all so much. Again, like I said, the digital copy is coming out on the 1st, December 1st. December 1st. The
December
physical copy.
1st.
The physical copy is going to be coming out on the 16th of January, which is my birthday. Thank you, Shamika. Um, thank you, powerful force, powerful voice. Can't wait for you to come out with your book. Powerful testimony, powerful. Yes, sir. Mr. Dwayne, you too. Like I said, I'm shouting people out because these people support. I could call these people drop of a dime. These people, they move out. They move out. I see yeah, Carmen, I'm sorry. Yeah, because I actually was going to get Carmen to come on because she's a very good translator. Like, she I told her I was going to get her to translate, but maybe on the next one, I got you. We'll settle everything. I appreciate it. My pop is on here. My father, for those of you who don't know, my father, Kevin Hudson. Yeah, I
Oh,
mentioned him in the
hey,
book too.
Daddy.
Yeah, yeah, that's my pop. Sometimes I'll be wanting to give him the boot.
Don't do Daddy like that. Don't even do Daddy like that.
You want to give him that, but
Don't
it's
even
all
do
right,
Daddy like that.
Yeah, but it's okay. But yeah,
Keenan, think of all of these people that are on here that I've literally know you in person.
Yeah, are we gonna have
already
a like a link, right? We'll have a
circle.
link that you can publicize because some people aren't getting that. It'd be easier just to click on a link and get it, right? Keenan and Carrie when we have
yeah, we're gonna have the link. There's gonna be a link, like so Carrie, if you can explain the emailing list, explain the email list to them if you can to explain how that's going to work.
Yeah. So when you sign up for the advanced reader copy, so what's going to end up happening is you will, on December 1st, Keenan will drop the link. He will drop the link where you could be able to access the book. When you do that, you'll click and it'll ask for your name and your email. Once we get your name and your email, you'll be automatically prompted to go to Amazon, and it will automatically take you to Amazon for you to purchase the book. the 199 book. With that email list, we'll be staying in connection with you, asking you questions, see if you have questions about the book, letting you know when Keenan is going live, and just kind of keeping you up to date with what we're doing and the activities we're doing in those 45 to 46 days for the launch.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm sorry, y'all. Last but not least, I have Brandy, which is a great assistant. She's oh my god, she's actually a great, like I say, motivator as well. She actually has a book coming out as well. We'll talk later about that. But yeah, she
Nice.
came on. But she's been a great supporter too. A great assistant. With different things, putting things in order. And she's actually, from Chicago to Las Vegas. She's all over the place. But she's definitely a great influencer, great business mogul as well. And again, like I said, there's going to be more. There's going to be a sequence of books behind the books that's coming out now. But again, if y'all have any questions, even right now, because we wasn't expecting, it's not going to be an hour broadcast, but we was expecting, probably like 30 minutes. That's about it. But if y'all have any questions, like I said, y'all can drop it. Um,
So, Keenan, I have a question for you while we're waiting for questions for them.
cool, cool, no
Like,
problem, no problem.
what is your hope and your dream that people will be able to take from this book?
Okay, wow. So my hope and my dream from this book. So again, it's the exact it's a narrative of my actual life and what I've been through. So a lot of people that know me, you all know that I come up in the streets of Philadelphia. I had a rough little childhood. On top of that, I lost my mother at an early age. So a lot of these things that I've been through, I know that it's common unto man. It's common things that people go through, but in which I went through, especially going through the prison, which is a huge impact of the story, is me going through the prisons at an
Mhm.
early age. It's a huge impact in which I believe that both young and old must read about. Not just read about, but learn about. Because my ultimate goal is to help people, not necessarily, which is the main focal actually for people that's reforming and reforming, to society and transitioning to society, but it's also going to show people that despite what you've been through, you can still make something out of life. We
Mhm.
all make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. But however, it's the way you recover. It's the way you recover, from those mistakes. So again, for the young and for the elderly, watching this, it's going to be very impactful because I really want you to get a lot out of it. And the books that are coming behind that with different reform strategies, things, that's going to help you with basic necessity of life, dealing with your homing skills, dealing with employment skills, dealing with your finances. Finances that's a huge part. So again, it's not just, oh, I just want you to know about me, but no, I want you to know how to overcome. And the book gets so deep as far as with personal things, things that went on even throughout the case, and how especially a lot of younger guys or a lot of the so-called gangsters that want to say, oh yeah, I'm a gangster, I got friends, this, that, and the third, but your friends will be the first to tell on you. Your friends will be the first to point the finger at you. But here
Mhm.
it is with gangsters though.
Yeah.
But again, ultimately though, I just want y'all to know that no matter what your circumstances is, no matter how much you've been left down, how much you been left back, you can still overcome. Like I said, I did a lot of time. I did a lot of time, but I learned things. I mean, I failed in certain areas, but I learned a lot of things. I developed trades. You see this wall. Some of these certificates are from, you see Virginia, state of Virginia. You see the Money Smart class. These are from a lot of things that I accomplished that really meant dear to me and actually worked. I'm trying to tell you guys that um, even though it's great to go to school, I'm encouraging you to go to school. You do a lot of things. I went to trade school while I was in there. I did a little college when I came out. But at the same time, that's not going to define, where you're going in your future. You know what I'm saying? There are some people, that, may go to school, get a doctor's degree, but still don't have any experience in anything else. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's the grace of God, that I was able to accomplish these things, establish business, establish, coming out, like I said, working minimum wage, you know what I'm saying? Then leveling up, double and triple, double and tripling, then they're making, six figures a year. So it's a lot of things, the impossible can happen, but you just can't give up. So never giving up is one of the main keys of this book.
And Keenan, the thing is, it's so funny. So I think for me, one of the reasons why I said I want to work with Keenan was because of that premise. Because I feel like a lot of times it's so easy to let our circumstances be our reality. And I think for you, like you were like, in spite of your circumstances, there's still so much possible out there for you. And I feel like with this book, it's gonna be that beacon of just like being able to come back and be like, well, shoot, if Keenan can do it, I can do it too. Like if Keenan can go spend 10 plus years in prison and still come out and become a six-figure entrepreneur, well, I can go out and maybe get a job. I can go out and have these difficult conversations. My circumstances are no longer my limitations. They're now my stepping stone for the lessons that I can now learn because I experienced those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's powerful. That's very powerful. Like you said, is never any type. Like I said, even you have people like all of us, been through some type of situation where we can relate. And I know, like even like with Brandy, even sharing, from when you hear her story, of the entrepreneurship or of how the enemy was trying to take her out at the beginning of time, but she always believed. The same with me, I always believed. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't have mommy and daddy to run to, I've always believed, like, yo, I got to make it. Like, who else? Nobody's going to give you anything in this world. You got to remember that, this is a time in the world where people are, they're waxing cold hearts. They're being lovers of themselves. So nobody's going to give you anything. You know what I'm saying? I had to grind from the bottom, like, you know what I mean? But I'm not saying that, that everybody's situation is the same. Everybody's different. What works for you may not work for me. And what may work for you, what worked for me may not work for you. So it's like a balance you got to have this in life. I had to sacrifice a lot. You know what I mean? I had to literally, like I said, I mentioned in even some videos that, I've had to walk to work. I had to walk in the rain, in the snow. You know what I'm saying? Just to go make 725, but it paid my bills. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys talk about, oh, well, this job doesn't pay that much, or Walmart doesn't pay this, that, and the third. But you get locked up, but you turn around and scrub floors for 19 cents an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot, like I say, it's a lot to learn. Like I say, from this book, and like I say, the books that come behind it. Like I said, I'm always brainstorming, trying to, develop different, strategies and things like that. So just know, yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Here go Mr.
Yeah.
Dwayne. So I believe that the book, we act as a guide transformation to become a model citizen in a way in a successful life. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Entrepreneur himself, Mr. Dwayne Lewis.
And
I'm telling you.
there was something else that you
Mhm.
said that I want to make sure that we bring back out because I feel like it has a very big theme in the
Sure.
book, and it's the idea of self-belief. And truly,
Mm-hmm.
with that self-belief is also the mindset and the internal manifestation that once you truly believe it to your core, it can happen and it can come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that. Brandy,
Mm-hmm.
would you like to iterate something? Crystal, Shiva, how y'all look? How y'all feeling out there?
Yeah, one of the things I really liked about this book, Keenan, was that while you're going through all this stuff, especially in prison, that you learned lessons and you were very generous about giving those lessons to your reader, which is almost like a blueprint that people can follow. I think Dwayne was saying it's a guide for transformation, and it truly is. You know how you became a man in prison, how you kept your wits about you, and how you thrived once you got out. So yes,
Absolutely.
so that's why I think this book
Absolutely.
it's very transformative, and it's more than just this is what happened. It's also, these are lessons learned, which are important for everybody, even no matter what circumstances, they grew up in or whatever they had to go through in their lives.
Absolutely. And Lisa Mills just mentioned right there, like she said, I think this book will be an eye opener for our youth. And like you said, that's very important. It's
Mhm.
very important. And I believe like not just even for the youth, but when the parents see, like even there's another book that I have coming out, the incarceration of the juvenile mind. But when the parents see of how, the peer pressures and the things we go through, how that has a big effect on us. It has, especially when we're neglected. Like I said, I lost my mother. I lost my mother to cancer. So here it was, I was home alone, especially mentally. I mean, I had family there, but mentally I was home alone.
Mhm.
So the only thing I could turn to was the streets. So,
Mhm.
Brandy, you wanted to say something?
I want to say something. Yeah, I think the book is good for the community because seeing you coming out of jail and then how you transform is gonna motivate a lot of people to look at you like, oh my God, Keenan did it, I can do it too. Like even you inspired me to write my book. You understand? So it's gonna help a lot of people when they read your story and see how you did 15 years and then you came out and you changed your life. So I think it's gonna be, and it's gonna be for the youth and the older people. You're gonna inspire a lot of people.
Cool. Thank you so much. So I see Liliana said, what part of the book did you have the hardest time writing and expressing? Wow. So the heart, well, I won't give you the exact, I won't give you everything right now, but I will say there's a part in the book, and I actually, I even talked to the public Bathsheba about this. The part of the book that was the hardest part was about when everything went down, how everything just came to the light. Who was your friends and who wasn't?
Mhm.
Who was riding with you and who wasn't? Who wasn't going to tell but did tell? So, but I'll keep it right there because I won't spoil the whole story.
Mhm.
But that was the toughest part to write
Yeah.
because it was a very trying time. It was a very um it was a situation, it was a major situation, but I won't spoil it. I want you all to read. I want you to get to it. But it's one of the chapters. It's a chapter in there that was like, wow, I said I gotta put it in
Mhm.
because everybody has to know how everything happened, how everything unfolded.
Mhm.
And yeah, and that was yeah, it's tough. But like I said, I can't spoil it. You'll just have to find out December 1st. It's going down. Like I said, going down. I've got a couple other comments here. Yes, a blueprint, success after the mess. Yup. Honda Cell, it says they can get the insight of real life issues. Yes, thank you, Lisa. All right. My cousin Tina, all the way from New York. That's what I'm talking about. See you without D right there. That's so.
Mhm.
All right, just to tell the price. Just tell yeah the price. So the price on the digital copy, which is coming out December 1st on
Mhm.
Kindle. We'll be dropping the link. I might be going live before that. We're gonna be dropping the link. It's actually gonna be $1.99. It's gonna be $1.99 on the Kindle books. But now, as far as the physical copy, that's to be determined.
Mhm.
We'll discuss that at a later date of how that's going to go on January 16th. All right.
Mhm.
Keenan, one based off
Mhm.
that the hardest part that you wrote in the book,
Mhm.
was it my thought process, was it hard because it also was you having to kind of reflect on your own responsibility in the place in that situation too?
Yeah, the responsibility in the place, the responsibility of the streets, the responsibility of the street codes. It was a lot of things, that you were under, that's like, wow, you're 15-year-old facing things, that actual adults. Here it is, you're charging an adult. You're charged as an adult, certified as an adult. And here you are facing like grown man issues, grown man
Mhm.
challenges, and which was embedded in us as kids on the streets. This was embedded in us. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
nobody told you. Nobody told us, oh, if you squeeze that trigger at somebody's head, that you'll be locked away for life in prison. Or if you squeeze that trigger at somebody's head, you'll receive the death penalty if
Right.
you're old enough.
Yeah.
Nobody told you that.
Yeah. I think, Keenan, too, that's exactly right. You're right in the middle of it. You're young. You don't know anything outside of a little radius where you grew up,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden this stuff is happening, and you have no idea the consequences. And I think that's what your book and your story so really tells so well, is like, you got to be aware. You have to understand that everything you do has consequences. And when you're young, it's very hard to have that kind of knowledge. And so, I mean, that's why your book is so powerful, though. You step it out, a little at a time. This is what happened. This is what I was thinking. And then I started getting advice, kind of like after the fact, which
Mhm.
was a little too late for that. But,
Yeah.
but you did a really good job, Keenan, of putting us right in your head.
So I see
Thank
your
you so much.
cousin. I see your cousin asked, "Hey, cousin." I
Mhm.
see your cousin asked, "Have you ever felt like giving up?" I like that question, but then I want to know if you ever felt that way. What was the thing that kind of kept you going down your path?
Wow. So for the most part, um, like I said, I give all glory and honor to God for keeping me. But that doesn't mean I was serving him throughout that whole time I was there. All right. So it's been many a times that I felt like giving up because, just getting the thought that you're never going home one day, just giving the thought like, Dad, all these things going on around me, people getting stabbed up. Um, you know, um, it's like, wow, could that be me? Will I make it out of here alive? Because I've seen people literally drop dead.
I'm on a
I've seen
conversation.
people get beat down and get their head cracked open and die. I've seen people
No,
when I was up Albion.
you're right on
There
time.
was a couple people that got killed, literally got stumped out, and died. Some people got stabbed in the neck and died. Like so, so it's been many a times where you felt like giving up, and it wasn't necessarily the physical part. A lot of physical part in the fighting came from like the county jails, but when you start bidding and really doing time, saying like, look, I'm not going home for another 10, 12, 13 years. It sets because your time it plays it plays tricks on you. Time
Mhm.
begins to play tricks on you. And only people that really been through that time understand what I'm talking about. They can relate to what I'm talking about. So, um, but for the most part, yeah, it's been plenty of times. Plenty of times you want to give up when family doesn't visit you. You've plenty of times you want to give up when family doesn't send you money. It's plenty of times when you go to bed hungry in there and you can't, you're like, Dad, I can't wait to go to chow in the morning time because I ain't got nothing to eat in my cabinet. That forces you to go and open up a store and sell soups and sell things, to people, just so you can have things and make ends meet, you know. But yeah, that's one of the toughest. But you learn strength through the things you suffer. You learn your humility through the things you suffer. So the things that I've been through, it made me stronger, and it made my mental strong enough to when I hit the streets. You see what I'm saying? So one of the things I always tell people is one thing you got to remember. It's not just a physical thing in there, but it's a mental thing. There's people that lost their minds,
Mhm.
that literally been in there. Even at my age, they grew up and they lost their minds in there. And what I mean by that is they don't know how to go on. Because you
Mhm.
got to remember, when I went in at 15, I always say this. I went in at 15, right? Everything went on pause. Everything I knew went on pause, right? So I grew up in there. I grew up a man inside there. But when the doors turned, when it came for me to come back out to the streets, the only thing I remember was 15
Mhm.
mentally. That's the only thing I remember. So here it is. I didn't know how to pay a bill. I didn't know what it was to manage credit, leverage credit. I didn't know what it was to open up a bank account. Shoot, I still thought that a lot of my high school friends were still in school. That's how deep the book gets. That's how deep the psychological part gets.
Mhm.
But that's why I believe that this book and books after that is going to bring change, even to the recidivism that's going on into this country today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to show and it's going to bring enlightenment. So, but like I said, I won't, take up too much. Thank you so much, Marvel. Yeah, because we definitely, I know I said 30 minutes. We definitely, but sometimes conversations like that, get there. At
No,
least
like
we, mhm.
I think a lot of stuff that you said is really important because I feel like it gives some type of preface for the people who are coming who might not know your story yet or might not or know a piece of your story but didn't understand like what made you want to write the book. So I think that this conversation is just going to amplify the story more and just provide more understanding of why you decided to write the book to begin with.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah, like I said, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be powerful. Like I said,
Crystal,
I
did
know
you want
that.
to add anything? Sorry, I'm over here
Yeah,
like I'm over here
yeah,
acting like
please,
my
Crystal,
this my stream yard.
please.
Crystal, what you got, girl?
No, the one thing I loved about getting a sneak peek of the book was I appreciated hearing some of the stories from those people that were literally life knew they would never see outside of those walls, and they were able to come through and give you some lessons to make sure you never came back. And that was something really cool to hear, what those pieces were and who took you under your wing and who kind of said, go figure it out. These people aren't your friends, or, the different ways you learn being inside the walls was really impactful to me to see what it's really like inside.
Yeah, yeah, it's powerful. It's definitely powerful. It gives that, like you said, that illustration. In a book, it's like, yeah, it's powerful.
And then we got one of your people that actually wrote a recommendation for the book that just posted.
Yes, yes, Mr. Hildebrand Pelzer the third. I'm talking about Mr. Hill. Listen,
The
he's one of the
I
most
think it's more like the
the Hildebrand. See, yeah, see the, and I had asked him. I had specifically, hey, Mr. Pelzer, I had asked him specifically. I said, do you want me to put your title up there? Do you want me to put a title? He said, I don't even worry about the title. But I'm talking about the influence that he has, to unlock the potential, which is his book. Because he was actually at that time years ago. This was almost about 18 years ago. He was the principal of Pennypack House School. He came and replaced another principal where the people, we were just running around in that school, ain't nothing was going on, no type of curriculum. They were just sending us back to the block, not caring if we had an education or not. He came in and swept up all the bullcrap. He came in. This is around the time technology started advancing a little bit. He went and bought a bookshelf of laptops. I thought he wasn't going to get it. He's actually. Oh, and the crazy thing is, now, Mr. Pels, I never forget you for this. He was actually the reason why majority of us was the first time authors. He brought in somebody by the name of Mr. Derek Gant. I forget which publishing company, but they made us. We published a book. I actually have it. It's called Broken Promises. He
Mm-hmm.
brought a book publishing company in so that we all could write a book. And here he is, one of the most powerful, influential people in the city of Philadelphia. As long as in his country. And on top of that, he's a principal for one of the schools, and he also has a lot of big and say so, even with the school district in general. But he made us our first author. I'll never forget that. When he came in and took over that school, and here it is, he's doing TED talks and everything, over the map. I'm telling you. So he's a great. I'm sorry for taking that over that much.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm
Yeah,
for it.
absolutely. Yeah, so like I say, in conclusion, like I said, I don't want to. Oh, he brings something up. Chris, you know the story. He said you didn't believe me and you held me accountable to do right by you juveniles. Yeah, I'm telling you, he made a big impact because I'm telling you, because you'd be surprised because he specializes in the education of incarcerated juveniles. That's very important. I couldn't tell you how many letters people used to get me to write for them. They used to pay me. They used to say, "Hey, can you write this letter to my girl? Can you write this letter to my mom? Can you write this letter to my dad?" Because they didn't know how to read or write. But had we not had a principal like Mr. Pelzer, people still be in the same predicament. So he's trying to enforce that throughout the whole country because there's a lot of juvenile facilities where they don't care about your education. They're going to just say, okay, y'all just sit on the block and fight all day. They'll sit on the block, order commissary all day. So again, it's very important that these kids are getting education behind the walls because that's a huge thing. Because that's what I learned. I learned a lot through education. Again, you see a lot of the accomplishment on these walls. A lot of this stuff came from even when I was in there. But we have to like that. That's something that's going to be reiterated as well. Like I said, with the books that's coming as well. So yeah, like I said, I know we keep going. It's getting better and
Yeah.
better. It seems like we might have to come on again. So, but due to time, the time restraints, Carrie, if you could reiterate one more time about the dates of the pre-orders and the actual launch date, if you could reiterate real fast. And then I'm sorry, y'all, we're gonna have to close out, but I appreciate all of you guys coming. Women, excuse me, men and women. Thank y'all so much. But I'm gonna let Carrie go ahead and close it out real fast with the dates.
Of course. Yeah. So, advanced reader copy is going to be December 1st. That is going to be the digital copy that you can read on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer. That is going to be $199. We will be dropping the link once that launch happens. And on January 16th, which is Keenan's birthday, we're going to launch the physical copy.
And like I said, we're gonna be speaking more about um, the in-person book launch, as far as with me signing autographs, everything. We're gonna be working through that. Like I said, this is not gonna be the last time I'm going live. Um, so just be prepared to see and hear more from us. So I appreciate your time. Again, to everybody, thank you. Gracias por todo. Yo voy a traducir todo pronto, ¿ok? Perdóname porque hoy yo tengo que explicar en inglés porque no tengo tiempo. Nosotros no tenemos tiempo por eso, pero um, un día yo voy a explicar todo. Okay? So, again, thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate it. Um, like I said, the publishers, the marketing team. Again, if y'all have some anything y'all want to say, y'all can drop anything in my inbox. And I'll push y'all forward. Thank y'all for everything. Thank you, because of that, like I say, Carmen. Yeah, yeah, you heard me speak. Sí, yo sabe, sí, tú sabes, ya sabes. Ajá. Gracias, thank you. She said, gracias, Dios te bendiga. That means she said, God bless you all. We appreciate everything. Again, like I said, it's not going to be the last. You all going to hear from me on a constant basis. Thank y'all. Okay, Jerry Rivera, all the way in Harrisburg. I'm coming out there probably in about a week and a half or something. Tell the pastor I'll be out there. All right. Thank you, Joe. All right. Yeah, Joel, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Mr. Hildebrand, yeah, I gotta see that. Okay, thank you. Gonna keep dropping the chat. Y'all throw that. Drop some thumbs up or some fire in the chat if y'all was happy about this information. Drop some thumbs, you know what I'm saying? Drop something in the chat, y'all, because I'm about to drop some. Because after this here, we gotta hang up because it's past my bedtime. I'm gonna drop some fire. I'm gonna drop some fire in the chat.
Hey!
I'll go to bed early because I wake up early. But I'm gonna drop some fire in the chat, y'all. I drop my fire in the chat. Y'all see my fire, bang. No exchange
Okay.
putting me up.
Good
All
night,
right,
you
so
guys.
yeah,
Good
drop that
night.
fire,
See
y'all.
you.
Yeah. All right, y'all
Bye-bye.
take care. Keep going. All right, but yeah, y'all can go ahead and log on. I'm gonna stay on a little bit. I'm gonna talk to them real quick.
All right, just hit
Okay.
in live. Bye
Okay.
guys.
All right, y'all take care. Take care. Bye. All right, you got it? All right. Yeah, yeah. All right, y'all. I know I'm here by myself right now, but yo, I appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, one of the main things I wanted to do, like I said, was to let them know, was to let everybody know, especially all the supporters, of when the book launch is going to happen, when the advanced reader campaign is going to start. It really means a lot. Like I said, even by them coming on, is powerful. Even by everybody coming on, like I say, Mr. Helderman Pelzer, I appreciate it. Again, I really am excited. Like I said, powerful things in there. It's powerful things, and like I said, from the people that know me, from the people that that been there with me, um, it's gonna go a long way. You know what I'm saying? I know people say, "Oh, how come everybody else not supporting you?" Look, it's not my job to see who's supporting me and who's not. You know what I mean? It's all right. It's either you with us. It's not even you're against us. You're not against us. It's just you're with us, or we just keep moving. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know me. I don't do beefing. I don't argue. I'm more of, I'm a great person, in and out. For most people know I get a shirt off my back. I'm a real powerful force when it comes to a lot of areas. So my main thing is, again, y'all be safe. Y'all have a blessed night. Still keep y'all posted on things. I'm gonna be going live. Again, the advanced reader campaign starts December 1st. I'm gonna be dropping the link before that, so it's going to be actually $1.99. I appreciate it. Yes, Miss Dietrich, we appreciate that. Um, it's a lot, I'm telling you, I'm not the emotional type, but I ain't gonna be crying because I'm a man. All right, I'm a man. Don't be thinking I'm a woman. No, I'm a man. I was like, no, but it's all right though. Sometimes people get emotional. It's all right. I'm not condoning that men can't cry, men can't get emotional. It's cool. It's all right to do. But I'm just telling y'all, it's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be wonderful. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, I appreciate this, Ms. Dietrich. I'm without further ado. And you're right. It's okay for men to cry. It is. It is. I'm not disputing that. You're definitely right. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and log out. Y'all peace out. I like I said, I'm gonna get ready. Gotta get ready for bed and all that. I'm tired. Yeah, real men cry. Okay. Okay, and they can wear pink. Yeah, I can wear pink. I know I like pink. You know what I'm saying? Come through. You know what I mean? Put the waves in. Oh, now I got to get the waves. You know what I mean? I have to get the waves back. I run the waves back. I really ain't want to because I don't feel like all the maintenance. I might want to do that. You know what I mean? But they back though. You know what I'm saying? I might have to get suave. But yeah. So all right, y'all have a good night. But I thank y'all for coming out, and I'm gonna go ahead and end now. All right, y'all take care. All right. Peace. Cleaning of the soul. Okay, Miss Lashada. All right. Y'all take care. All right, Lisa. Talk to you. Thank you, Judith. I see you. All right. Got the hair store. Yeah, man. We're gonna get that hair store going, man. I'm telling you. Because they be buying up the weave, they be buying the wig. Oh, yeah, that's the next business. Let's go. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I can't be playing, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. All right, peace, y'all. Thank you. All right.